I think I've come to realize that there's no true honesty when it comes to these politicians and with this corrupt system. So a story just breaks that the judge in the Trump case, we all know he was leaning left. We all know he was, giving to Democrats. But there is something that's even bigger than that. The amount of money that is flowing into his family is astronomical. Let's jump into it today.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away?
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you like this content, please give us a thumbs up. It means the world to me. And also, if you enjoy our channel, subscribe below, please. When you give us a thumbs up, it's like telling YouTube that this content is really good and that it should be shared. And we ask that you share it as well. Now let's talk about today this crazy case with Judge Merchant. This man is, you may say he's not corrupt, but somehow a lot of his family is getting extremely rich over the last few weeks. Now, Laura Loomer just dropped a story, and I want to read some snippets from it that should blow your mind. It shows that we live in a corrupt system. People can say what they want, and I get a lot of blowback when I say that, I'm hoping Trump wins for presidency because I don't like Biden, and he's the best shot we got, especially as a Christian conservative. But a lot of blowback is, well, he's evil too. I honestly believe anyone who gets to the level of our government and spends a lot of time in Washington, I'm sorry, I don't believe any of them are honest people. I believe they've all stepped upon other people to get there. But then some just get more usurious. I want you to listen to this. New York Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul has sent nearly $700,000 in payments to the personal home residence of Lauren Merchant, the daughter of New York Judge Juan Merchant. As President Trump's trial enters its 6th week in New York, this reporter has discovered that the New York Democratic Hochul is a client of the New York judge's daughter. Now, this is a Democratic consulting firm that she has. It seems like a lot of money has just all of a sudden just filtered to her, and they all use her consulting fees. This is kind of one of those cases where, again, it's a sleight of hand, where you hear a lot of Republicans and Democrats, they have these consulting firms and these consulting fees, and this is who helps them set up this. Like, for instance, he was tied to another Democratic congressman who was assisting him. Michael Cohen was tied to another Democratic consulting firm that's tied to a congressman that was floating tons of money in there, and it was all consulting. It's all just a bait and switch to basically take money, launder it, and basically, hopefully, change the outlook or outcome of a situation. If it be a case or if it be an election, this is sleazy politics. According to the records of New York State, the election database, Hochul has given $689,000 to Lauren Merchant personal home residence. Why do people, and I want you to ask yourself this, and I know this is very rhetorical, the position of a governor or congressman or senator, they typically make in the upwards of $200,000 to $300,000. Some maybe more, but president $400,000, $500,000. So you're saying this is big money. But when you spend $700,000 with a consulting firm to win a $200,000 job, don't we think there's some dishonesty there? Don't we think there's some money flowing under the table there? That's like me saying, look, I'm going to go work for 40 hours a week, but I'm going to only make my boss pay me an hour. Just for an hour. I know I worked 40, but I just want 1 hour's worth of pay. It doesn't make sense, does it? So when we get these situations where you have congressmen and politicians and Senate where they make $100,000, $200,000 a year, which is a phenomenal income, but they're worth $170 million. They're worth $50 million. They're worth $40 million. Now, I just mentioned to you Nancy Pelosi, McConnell, even Crenshaw, and the list could go on. These people, these politicians, including even judges, are taking the integrity of our system and breaking it. When we have people able to basically buy off judges or consulting fees and consulting firms. I mean, for instance, I think lobbying is illegal. I think giving to a campaign over $5 is illegal. You know why? Because no matter what, For instance, Trump versus Clinton. Trump fully funded his whole campaign. Now, does that mean don't get me wrong, he could easily have, interest too. But where he had 100% of his money coming from his own pocket, Clinton was fully funded by her donations. Well, who was her donations? Who was her special interests? Every politician gets money, so therefore their principles and their morals and their obligations may be skewed because it may benefit them. For instance, when I do ad reads on YouTube, it's because I believe in the company. If it be Surfshark, if it be Mudwater, if it be a Bind, if it be Pain Safari, the ones that I do is because I actually buy the product myself and I enjoy it and I use it. But if I come on here and say, well, this chair is a phenomenal chair, and really it feels very uncomfortable, it's hard, I hate the chair, but I paid for it, so I'm going to use it. But I'm not going to try to oversell you on the fact that this chair is comfortable. But if someone paid me $100,000 to say this chair is comfortable, man, I might really like this chair. You see how that changes. Politicians do the same thing. We say, okay, I want you to go up there and actually work for us. Judge, I want you to be very in the center and make sure that you're not skewed one way or the other. But if one side of the party is all of a sudden funneling millions of dollars to you, don't you believe you're going to have a biases? That's exactly what's happening here. Do you honestly believe Trump will get a fair trial on any of these? Now, yes, he'll go through the appeals. Yes, he'll go to the Supreme Court probably and get all these overturned. But that's after millions of dollars spent in legal fees. My problem with the whole system that we have, my wife made a good point yesterday. She said there's no way someone can go to Washington and stay moral and principled. And I made the comment, I had a little pushback. I said, you're right on most of the cases, but there's a few guys there. And she said, okay, there may be a few guys. And I made the qualm of saying, well, it's probably because they don't spend most of their time in Washington. They do their job and they get back home. I think of the Masseys, the Pauls, and things like that. So when you decide to say, I'm going to live in the swamp, then you're going to be the swamp creature. And I think that's exactly what's happening to the judges, what's happening to politicians. The only way to fix that is you have to get away from lobbying. You have to get away from these under-the-table consulting fees. You have to get away from special interests. When you get away from that, you're going to see pharmaceuticals change, you're going to see oil change, you're going to see the fact of energy change, you're going to see the fact of true morals come out and values come out because they're not going to be bought off and paid for. That's what we need to get to. So am I surprised that $700,000 went from Hochul to a firm, consulting firm, to ultimately, remember, Hochul makes what, $250,000, $300,000, and she doubled that just for one time for consulting fees over an election period? Again, I don't work 40 hours to then get paid for one or two. So there's some sleight of hand things going on right there. But you be the judge. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for the day. I was just a little ranty this morning because I can't understand why we don't fix the system. The system is broke, and we have the fact that no politician is ever going to stand on core values or morals or stand on their heart or on their true beliefs because their beliefs have been skewed. Remember that $100,000 chair? It's a hard chair, but for $100,000, I might tell you it's really good. That's exactly what our politicians are doing. Give me your thoughts. I'm just trying to find some common sense and some wisdom in a crazy, chaotic world, and I hope we can do it together. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.